Tonight on CTV, the city of Fort Collins is focusing on growth. We'll tell you how coming up.
And Colorado grocery stores can officially sell full-strength beer. But what does that mean for local liquor stores?
Plus, we'll tell you how to get the most bang for your buck when buying textbooks. All that and more starting now on CTV.
Good evening, Rams in Fort Collins. I'm Marlo Lundak.
And I'm Crist, here to catch you up on all the news you need to know tonight.
On Tuesday evening, Mayor Wade Troxel and City Manager Darren Attenberry led the annual State of the City address. The event was held in the Lyric Cinema Theater and included a Q&A session and a chance to speak with city representatives. Mayor Troxel advocated for good city planning to improve quality of life for the people of Fort Collins. On attendees' minds was projects to improve lighting, for walking safety and affordable housing. City Manager Darren Attenberry said he wants to see more collaboration between the city and housing developers.
Help fill the gap in the funding gap and performance that are necessary to help support affordable housing, but we aren't at our core competency a housing provider, so the collaboration is so critical.
For more information about the State of the City address, you can visit collegian.com.
In wake of the longest government shutdown in American history, Larimer County is feeling the effects. According to the Coloradoan, 43 employees racked up more than 900 hours of overtime in 18 days, adding up to around $35,000 in extra pay. One person in the Benefits and Community Support Division clocked a 16-hour day to make sure people wouldn't lose food assistance during the shutdown. But now that Congress and President Donald Trump have reached a temporary deal, Larimer County is trying to catch up on the backlog of people in need of food assistance before another possible shutdown.
The Associated Students of CSU had their first Senate meeting of the semester last night, where funding for a Lantern Festival was discussed. The festival is coming to CSU through the efforts of CSU's Southeast Asian Student Organization. For more on the Lantern Festival, you can visit collegian.com, but for now, here's more from last night's Senate meeting.
The meeting began on a somber note as Alex Murray announced their decision to step down as parliamentarian for the upcoming semester.
I wish you all the best of luck. I should be back in the fall.
ASCSU President Tristan Siren gave his weekly report, which included changes to the U+2 ordinance.
Now I want to talk to you about the progress we've made, the most important thing being U+2.
He also talked about his efforts in moving requirements for party registration. Representatives from the Southeast Asian Student Organization, Mohammed Ashari and Brendan Loy, presented a plan to the Senate about an annual Lantern Festival at CSU. Senators asked questions regarding the proposal, and Chair of Women's Caucus, Marlo Sharif, adamantly supported the event.
Because I think over everything this event brings our community together and that it's inviting to all cultures.
After Sharif's speech, many senators also showed their support for the festival. After the traditional roll call and the singing of the CSU fight song, the meeting was adjourned. Ren Wadsworth, CTV, Channel 11.
Thanks, Ren. Elections for new officers in the Senate will be held in following meetings, so stay tuned. 2 men survived a stabbing on Saturday morning in Old Town Fort Collins. Police say they responded to the incident at a duplex on East Mountain Avenue around 7:15 in the morning. Both men had serious injuries but were not life-threatening. The investigation is still ongoing, so neither of the men have been identified yet. It's colder than Antarctica. That's not an over-exaggeration for 58 million Americans who are dealing with below-zero temperatures. The cause? Climate change. Scientists say that melting sea ice has caused the walls of the polar vortex to break open, sending frigid cold temperatures south.
That's right, Marlo. It's very dangerous for people in the Midwest and Northeast right now. According to the New York Times, it's believed that at least 20 people have died because of the cold temperatures, including a University of Iowa student who was found in the early morning on Wednesday. Our hearts reach out to the U of I family and all of those affected by the cold. But now, let's turn it over to Sydney Wicker in the Weather Center. Sydney, what is going on with this polar vortex?
You two are absolutely right. Yesterday, there were some parts of the U.S. that were colder than the South Pole. They're calling this the deep freeze. Rivers near Detroit and Chicago have almost completely froze over. Hundreds of schools and businesses have closed for the rest of the week. If we look over here, we can see Michigan was at -7. If we look over into Wisconsin, -6, and down to Indiana and Illinois, -1 and 5 degrees. These are record-breaking wind chills that we're having currently. The lowest wind chill was in Minnesota with what it felt like was 70 degrees. If you have friends or family in that area, make sure to remind them to stay inside. The good news is meteorologists say warmer temperatures are coming back. In fact, by Sunday, some cities will have what it feels like an 80-degree swing from warmer temperatures. But stay tuned, because later I'll have your Fort Collins weather forecast. But back to you, Ryan.
Thanks, Sydney. I'm glad we'll be having warmer temperatures soon. While we have a strong beer culture in Fort Collins, it's odd that our grocery stores don't sell full-strength beer, when most states across the nation sell full-strength beer in their stores. But as of 2019, this has changed. Since 1933, the only place to buy full-strength beer is liquor stores like Campus West. This is a Prohibition-era law that prohibits grocery stores and other authorized personnel from selling full-strength beer, making liquor stores your one-stop shop for alcohol.
You know, we do have 29 cooler doors dedicated to beer.
But now, they won't be the only ones selling. According to the Colorado General Assembly, Senate Bill 18-243 was effective January 1st and eliminated the 3-2 beer law, thus allowing grocery stores and other authorized personnel to sell full-strength beer. With this new law taking effect, how are local liquor stores going to compete with giants like King Soopers, who have more storefronts and longer hours?
Well, we've kind of known it's been in the works for a long time, so we prepared as much as we could for it. A few years ago, we also added a snack section, chips and candy, and things that you would grab as you're grabbing a six-pack.
Well, this law is changing Colorado nationwide. We're in the minority as one of 5 states that still has the 3-2 law. Along with us, Kansas and Oklahoma have passed bills, leaving Utah and Minnesota left with the Prohibition-era law. For now, we'll have to wait and see how this new law affects Fort Collins.
If you take the beer industry as a pie, the pie's not going to get any bigger. Every retailer is going to take a smaller slice.
This law was originally passed in 1933 during the Prohibition era, meaning we have had this law for 86 years. So I guess it's time to say it's time to party like it's 1933. Speaking of beer, Odell Brewing announced a new experimental double IPA called Hammer Chain. Apparently it has a tropical fruit flavor, but it won't be on shelves until May. The company also announced a new twist to the Mountain Standard IPA, the Wolf Picker IPA, and the 180 shilling to commemorate the 13th anniversary of the brewery. You can find those beers at your local grocery store or liquor store now.
The beginning of a new semester means a lot of things for students, including buying required textbooks. If you haven't bought your textbooks yet, don't worry, you still have plenty of options.
For many students, buying textbooks can seem like a daunting task, paying hundreds of dollars just to find out you can only sell them back for a few bucks. In a recent study, the National Post-Secondary Student Aid found full-time undergraduate students spent an average of $900 to $1,200 on textbooks.
I started looking online for these books, and I realized that if you just type in the title and add PDF on the end, you're probably going to find it.
Sometimes a book in the bookstore that's $180 will be $17 online, so it's quite a bit cheaper.
Cheaptextbooks.com.
Abraham Books or Lincoln Books, I don't remember, it had something to do with Abraham Lincoln, I don't remember which one it was.
Amazon, really. Amazon's pretty good.
According to CampusTextbooks.com and Business Insider, textbooks are pricey because a large portion of the textbook market is controlled by just 5 major publishing companies, many of whom release new editions with new access codes each year, putting the used book market to sleep. These companies can be hard to negotiate with, resulting in high-priced books.
The bookstore acknowledges that textbooks can be extremely expensive. That's why they've implemented a series of programs to help students find the best deal.
We just instituted a low price guarantee in the fall semester. So if you find online from Amazon, Barnes & Noble, a few other websites. We will match that price up to $50 per title.
Not only does the bookstore price match, but Kaiser says they even encourage students to look at other websites.
On our website, you can go in and you can see our prices, but you can compare them real time to Amazon, Libris, to all of those different companies. The mission of the store is to make sure the students get the right materials at the right price. So we offer it so that they can see and order directly from Amazon through our website.
In 2018 alone, Kaiser says the bookstore saved students more than $6 million, mostly by giving students digital access materials. Students who haven't yet purchased their textbooks still have time, and a good place to start looking could be right here on campus.
Kaiser also told me that CSU students who participate in these programs will spend on average about $600 per year for textbooks, and that's about half the national average, so not bad.
Yeah, that is not bad. I mean, I thought when I was buying books that they were just so expensive. I thought we were spending so much, but apparently, you know, we're not, which is pretty surprising.
Yeah, the bookstore is really helping out students. I had no idea. It was awesome.
That's great. In order to provide students with more diverse news coverage at CSU, a new publication called The Battering Ram is in the works. The group's Facebook page says it's an independent and alternative student voice. The Battering Ram has actually already existed, but the group plans to revamp the website. Isabel Brown, who was very involved in the founding the publication, says its purpose is to create dialogue and provide a voice for people with differing viewpoints.
Well, Rams, you can now drink beer and wine at Moby Arena. The new loft has been open for the past few basketball games. This loft is located on the west side of Moby Arena, where they removed a section of bleachers to make more room. Right now, there's a long white fence zoning off the loft, as well as 2 full bars with a selection of alcohol. Right now, it's still in its infancy and has plans to expand. Joe Parker said the bars are just temporary, but they have plans to make them more permanent.
Eventually, we'll have a drink rail installed just like we do at the Moby Porch, or rather the New Belgium Porch.
That's it for us, but stay tuned because we have your full weather forecast coming up next.
Plus, Jared Stratton is going to break down the Tuesday night men's basketball game for us, so stick around.